Have you ever wondered what the people around you really think about you? Today, I have my sister, Kiara Carter, here. I'm going to be interviewing her and asking her a series of questions that hopefully will help me to figure out a little bit more about myself in an introspective nature. Through these series of questions, I hope to better understand myself and also find out a little bit more about how my sister views me. The reason I chose to interview my sister is because I feel like we've always had a very close yet impersonal relationship. So through these series of questions, I hope to find out a little bit more about myself and how she views me, as well as a little bit more about her. Today, I'm going to be asking Kira 3 questions. The first is as follows. If I were an animal, what animal would I be? The second, what is your fondest memory of us together? Why that memory specifically? And finally, the last question I'm going to be asking is, how do you think I handle stress? So before we begin, I'd like to just thank Kiera for being here. As you know, I'm going to ask you 3 questions and you just give your honest responses, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kiera, so the first question I'm going to ask you is, if I was an animal, what animal would I be?
I think you'd be a lion because I think lions are considered pretty and majestic, and I think that fits you nicely. I also think they're considered the kings of the jungle, and I often look at you as the queen. Your presence when you walk in the room is very commanding.
I love your answer, and I definitely take it as a bit of a compliment. I do also definitely agree that whenever I walk into a room, I definitely take the attention and the focus. So I think that was actually really introspective. I think that I definitely used to think of myself as a shy person, but in the past couple of years, I've come out of my shell, and so now I think lion fits me really well. So I love your pick of lion. It was really fun to hear your reasoning behind what animal you think I would be. I think you were very complimentary, which of course I love. But the next question is a little more sentimental. Are you ready? Okay. The next question is, what is your fondest memory of us and why?
I think my fondest memory is probably when I was really sick a few months ago in January, and we had to go to the hospital night after night. She was with me every night, and she was just there holding my hand, telling me everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, that just let me know that she there for me.
Mm. I remember that very vividly too. I remember my only priority at the time was to make sure that you were okay and to make sure you were as comfortable as possible because the type of sick you were, it was so hard to watch because it really just hurt all of our hearts because we care about you so much, you know? My only priority back then was to make sure you were doing okay and that you were comfortable. So to know that that's one of your fondest memories of us is really comforting. I would say my fondest memory of us in recent memory was whenever I went to pick you up from work and I rolled the window down and said, "Hi, Kiki," and you said, "Hey." And I just thought that was so cute because it reminded me of like whenever you were younger, you always used to say, "Hi," but now you've gone on to say, "Hey," which I think is just cute. It just kind of shows how grown up you are now. Now for the final question. It's something that I've never thought to ask anybody before, but it genuinely does have me interested in your response. So are you ready for that? Okay. The final question is, how do you think I handle stress? And explain your reasoning too, if you could.
I seen the way you used to be versus the way you are now, and I think you used to let a lot of little stuff get to you and just let it slide. But now you stand on big business. You don't let none of that phase you. You don't play that. But as you gotten older, I would call you probably the most secure person I know. You don't let anything get you down. You have a positive outlook on everything, no matter what the outcome could be, good or bad.
That was a very receptive answer from you. I think it's showing me that you definitely have looked into me as a person more than I thought you did, you know? Because I think before I used to be more shy and reserved, and I would keep my feelings to myself and I would let a lot of things get me down. But to know that you've seen the change in me, because I really have been putting a lot of effort into changing as a person. So to see that you have noticed that as well is really reassuring to me. Okay, so that concludes the questions that I have for you today, Kira. Thank you for answering so honestly and for being here. So I'd just like to end the interview by saying this. It is so important to value those around you, and asking a series of questions like this to the people you love and support is a surefire way of being able to understand them a little bit more. And once more, I'd just like to thank my audience and thank my sister, and thank you so much for watching and tuning in.